Man, the place was buzzing because the only game that people came to see tonight is the Kings and the Magic. I mean, all these other games, it's some exciting young talent around the league, but this game right here, I think is going to define a future of something we've never witnessed before. A rivalry forming literally when these guys were just getting into the league. Soon I'll be able to tell you more about these guys and where they came from. But right now, they are making a name for themselves in the NBA. And you already know, Ferguson got the tip and just started walking off, and I'm like, oh man, he's twice the size of everybody on the court. I mean, I'm sitting here like in disbelief that he is so tall. And right when I'm sitting there in disbelief, he grabs it out of the hands of everybody on the floor. Great stop and pop by Cole Anthony. But look, oh my gosh. And just look how small the ball looks in his hand. Goodness. But, we've already been seeing what my guy Johnson been doing, man. He's been playing at the top of the league. I would honestly say he's probably one of the best, that we've seen out here. But, when you see a guy that looks like he's 8 feet tall, barely having to jump to score, it's kind of crazy. But, I'm seeing, I kind of seen early that the Kings just doesn't have the team to beat the Magic. Johnson's trying to be unselfish. These are guys that he usually plays with, and we're on the sideline like, no, shoot the ball, be dominant, do what you've been doing the whole summer league. Who cares? But while we're saying that, the Magic can score in a lot of different ways, and you could tell this team was definitely thinking about how can they win this summer league. If it's just us against Johnson, we'll take our chances, but golly. I mean, this is a guy that can carry. I've seen it be done multiple times. It doesn't matter if it's the summer league. It doesn't matter if it's a regular season game. I hope. But I just know he's going to be even more dominant when he's on a team with first team type guys. But, there was this possession where he went toe to toe with him. Toe to toe. He didn't care who was in that paint. And then Ferguson, like, give me the ball. That's all everybody heard in the gym. Give me the ball. Backs down and misses. And Johnson laughs at him and he immediately fouls him. And I think that sparked something. I think that sparked something that Johnson did not want to see this early in the game. I mean, he just went ballistic. And what the scary part was, and I think me and the rest of the scouts looked at each other, he's barely even trying. Confident to say, the Kings didn't have enough for this guy. I mean, I honestly do not think he was trying. It was almost to the point that I feel like the coach was telling him, you don't have to go this hard right now. And I almost feel like Ferguson felt like he had to prove something. But once again, the Magic team was just better than the Kings team, as Johnson was still trying to be unselfish, and every time his teammates missed, we're like, Ferguson's gonna score. You know what I mean? Magic's gonna come down and score. And he kept trying to get his teammates involved. We're like, dude, just score. But once again, as we see Ferguson go coast to coast once again, these guys don't want to have to try. These games don't mean anything. It's just to get them used to NBA play. It's to get them around some competition because it's been a long off season. But when it's a matchup like this and guys are really trying to show who they are, if this is their first time hearing about them, if this is their first time seeing them play, if this is their first time seeing them fly across the paint, and it's their first time seeing each other face to face, as you've seen in that last clip, they were talking. They were talking. You can tell this is a rivalry brewing. I mean, Magic, of course, took it, but Tre Ferguson 22-7, Marcus Johnson 25 at the half in a summer league game. Are you freaking kidding me? And I didn't want to leave. I knew I was gonna stay for this whole game, and I see them just throw a full court pass to Johnson, and just I just don't know how to explain seeing what he does in person. And every time he makes a highlight play, people say they see it looks like a spark of light around him. I haven't really seen it. I've been up in the nosebleeds. You know what I mean? I'm not paying for no front row seats. I'm gonna wait till I can get close. But they say they see some spark of lightning or something. And that's the only thing I can think of when you see a guy go from 0 to 60 on feet. and we see Tre Ferguson make a business decision. But hey, go ahead, man. It's just the summer league. It's just the summer league. And these guys are going for 30. Like, these are NBA regular season, I have to win this game type moves that we're seeing right now. He's trying to tear the rim off. And by himself, once again, he was trying to be unselfish to start the game. He was being very selfish that quarter. But that may have been bad news to the Sacramento staff, as they knew that this was the game they had to rest their players. Magic rested Ferguson. Ferguson on the sideline just fuming like, oh, you got that? All right, my turn. As Johnson is on the bench, this is the greatest display I think I've ever seen from a big man of his age and his size. There's no way somebody on this court could stop them. And then I see the stop, and then Bobo, another 7-footer, gets the rebound and scores. And then, the Kings had their buckets here and there to keep them a little bit ahead. And then it's like, nope, we still have 2 7-footers in the paint you have to guard. And they can turn up at possibly any time they want. So Marcus Johnson finally gets back in the game. And it's a minute and some change left. Tied game. Ferguson and Johnson are in the game. And now I'm wondering, like, are they going at it? And then I get interrupted. We are hearing MVP chants at the Summer League in the 4th quarter. Everyone in the stadium is treating this like this is a playoff game or something. Like we're playing for a title. I'm like, what is going on? I had to pinch myself because this did not feel real. And Ferguson stayed in the game. I even think he told his coach, let me play a little longer. Let me play a little longer. He misses the clutch layup. Kings start to go up. And I'm like, oh, then maybe the Kings got it. Ferguson for 3. And I was like, okay, maybe they got it. Kings take a terrible shot. Hey, give it to Ferguson. Ferguson backs down. 2 people around him. 3 people around him. He still goes up and puts the Magic up by 1. They double team Marcus Johnson. He throws it to the corner, and they get a 3-second call by the big man. And that was all she wrote. And it was a good game, man. It was a good game. I think they gave the scouts everything they wanted and more. They gave the fans everything they wanted and more. They gave social media everything they wanted and more. And Tre Ferguson showed us why he will probably come out as Rookie of the Year. I don't wanna put no predictions in the air, but what Marcus Johnson showed us is he wants to be a team player. He wants to win championships. The vibe I got from Tre Ferguson, he's in it to kill anyone in his way. So later in that summer league, Magic and OKC play. My guy Jonathan Rivers over at OKC, man, I love to see that kid play. So I had to pull up. I knew Ferguson probably was not going to play in this one much, but this was one of those games you kind of just had to check out. Way less people in the stands this time, as Rivers starts the game off with an assist to Giddey, assist to Dort. OKC by far the best team in the summer league. I don't know why they brought so many starting caliber players. Couldn't tell you. Ferguson had his buckets, and after a while you kind of got the gist. He was barely playing defense, barely walking up the court. You could tell the vibes was, I came, I conquered. We'll give it to the team that brought their whole starting lineup basically to go ahead and win this. Did you see Jonathan Rivers just lays it up in Ferguson's face? Yeah, that was the gist of this game. Still fun to watch. Still confirmed to me that Rivers, I believe, is a first team type of guy potentially. Still don't know what he's gonna do against the Kyries of the world, the Dames of the world, but they went on to play the Knicks in the championship and they won. Of course, Dort showed out 23. They did what they had to do and they won the summer league. But the only guy I was wondering and who I wanted to see was Sheldon Weber, the sharpshooter. Rockets decided not to bring him. And I'm like, dang, that sucks. But then I'm thinking, man, they might be trying to go for a championship. Wall, Green, Tate, Christian Wood, Kevin Porter Jr., Kenyon Martin Jr. What is the Rockets planning on doing this season? And why did we not get a glance of Sheldon Weber?